What's up everyone, welcome back to another video. If it's your first time, welcome to my channel. If you're a returning subscriber, how's it, what kind? Now, as some of you know, or if you don't know, I am currently on au pair in America. I've actually had in total now 4 families, and so today's topic, I feel like I'm not 100% qualified, but I can give advice. And so, how to be a successful host family. This is mainly for host families that want to be future host families, or you're in the process and you just want to know how to make this work. This is from an au pair's point of view, and so don't come and attack me. Come into the comment section. I would love to answer all your questions. And I am going to do like a mini series. So there's going to be more videos directed to host families, host moms, host dads that they could go to. This is the first one. The next ones I'm going to put the link here, or you'll find the links in the description, or you'll find a specific playlist for au pairs. And so the first one is, and I'm going to say it because I know that host families know this rule, but somehow they still think that we are this. Au pairs are not your maids. They are not your assistants. They are not your, I don't know what else you can say. They are not your like workers in a sense. Like they're not meant to like clean and cook. I'll explain what they're meant to do. And the reason I say this, a lot of host families are probably like, yeah, duh, the agency tells us that. But there are a lot of host families that still do it. That's why I put this in there. There's a lot of host families that will make au pairs either run errands, and I'm not talking about if you have a relationship and it's like, hey, can you just buy this for me at the store? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about host families that will buy groceries, come home, walk into the house and be like, the au pair, tell the au pair to go unload the car. I'm talking about host families like that. So au pairs are not staffed, they're not maids, they're not meant to be chefs for you. Au pairs are mainly meant to do washing for kids, cook for kids. And I know you can easily say, oh, this is for the kids, that is for the kids, whatever for the kids. It boils down to like your relationship with your au pair. But once again, you can't be making your au pair do heavy labor. So you can't be making your au pair like do a massive spring clean in your kids' room when you yourself know you wouldn't do it. You can't be making the au pair cook for the whole family, or having parties and make au pairs come over and cook. Trust me, it's happened to me. Where you cook for a whole everyone at the guest or whatever. You can't be doing that. And also with this thing, why I say au pairs are not your staff is because there are going to be things that as au pairs you do that you know you shouldn't be doing, but you do it because you're living in the house, you live with them and you don't mind doing it. But it becomes a problem when you insist that we do it. Me, I don't mind doing certain things if I want to do it out of my free will, out of the goodness of my heart. But if you come and you're like, hey, can you do this, this, and this, and you suddenly give me all the jobs of the maids. I know host families, I've heard of host families that have stopped having the cleaning service come because now they got an au pair. Au pairs are not maids, okay? So if you want to have a successful family, you need to get that out of your head. Number 2, au pairs are adults. I think a lot of host families tend to forget that au pairs are adults and treat them like how they treat their kids. Au pairs are adults. Yes, they're living in your home, but you need to understand that they are adults and they also need to be treated and respected like adults. If you trust an au pair to look after your kids, then you should trust them to make the right decisions. There's just too many host families that want to smother and like control the au pair's life and all. That's got nothing to do with you. Yes, okay, you want to know if they're safe. Yes, you want to know if they did certain things. Fine, but think about it this way. If you constantly, literally like where you at, what you're doing, who you with, I need to know your friends, I need your friend's cell phone number. There's a way to go about that. Like, you don't want your au pair to feel like they're a kid. I know some au pairs, and I've seen it on groups that I'm on, where their host families put a tracking app and the au pair has to always keep it on because their host families need to know where they're at 24/7. Now, me personally, I would be uncomfortable with that. Do I have something to hide? No, absolutely not. However, I am coming from a different country. I left my mother's home to come to a whole new country and be independent, and then come here and have a family tell you this is what you have to do. It's so frustrating. Honestly, it's annoying. And so there always, like, what you could do is, if your au pair leaves, and I'm also not saying like ignore your au pair, like if your au pair leaves Friday at 6 o'clock and she disappears the whole weekend and you don't see her, do not text her. That's not what I'm saying. There's a way to go about it. You could be like, hey, let's say her name's Brittany. Hey Brittany, we haven't seen you the whole weekend, we hope you're good. That doesn't say we want to know where you're at, what you're doing, how you're doing, where. Or you could do this, like my host family does this. When I go away with my friends, if I'm going to DC or I'm going to wherever I'm going, when I am there, whatever, and I still haven't texted them to say, hey, I've arrived, they will text me, like my husband will send me a nice text, hey, I hope you got to DC safe. And then I will respond and be like, hey, I got you safe, thank you. That way I know that she knows I'm safe and she knows I'm safe. Whereas if I got a text like, hey, what hotel are you staying in, who are you staying with, what time are you going to be back on Sunday, where are you going, that would frustrate me. So treat your au pair as an adult. Remember that they are adults and they're going to make right decisions. And leading to my next point, number 3, be understanding. Au pairs are going to mess up. I'm not going to lie. Au pairs are going to mess up. Even the perfect au pair in your head messes up. Be understanding. Don't think because it's an au pair, she's superhuman, she's not going to make mistakes. You make mistakes. If an au pair backs up and the garage door is still halfway up and it bumps the car, don't be like, you stupid or whatever. You also need to take into consideration that she could have also been having a bad day. She has all these kids. The kids could have been throwing a tantrum. And on top of that, she's homesick. Her whole family is across the ocean. You could find there's something wrong with her family back home. Or she's just genuinely missing her family. She saw a picture where all her friends are at a party. She's not there. She's missing her family. She gets up. She comes to work. The kids throw a tantrum. She's just frustrated. And guess what? She didn't realize the garage door was still closed, or she didn't realize it was halfway open, and she backs up and she reverses and hits into the car. It's an accident. I'm not saying that au pairs should be negligent and just like do whatever when they're feeling bad. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is it could happen to anyone. Even you as host families could have bad days and hit into the car and do stuff. If the au pair is driving and texting, that's recklessness. Now that I don't condone. But what I am saying is like stuff is gonna happen, and au pairs are also gonna feel bad, because trust me, if let's say that happened, as an au pair you also feel bad because you know it's like a car or it's like a big thing and you feel like you messed up, and that's already like, oh. And on top of it, you're away from your family, you're away from your friends, you're away from people that can comfort you, and then you coming and you're judging and you're expecting them to be perfect. Now if the au pair doesn't take responsibility and the au pair's like, oh, it's a whole different story. But I'm just saying, be understanding, because there's too many host families out there that expect their au pairs to be superhuman, super nannies. Everything must be perfect, rosy. You must have all the kids in best behavior, tantrums, give them their vegetables, and you must still constantly be happy while you're away from your friends and family. That is just, would you do it? Like, put yourself in your au pair's shoes. That's what I'm saying. Just take yourself for a moment, pull yourself away and be like, would I cope? Same thing with the TV thing. I always say TV is not really good for kids, but if you say to your au pair, I never want my kids in front of the TV, what are you doing when you're tired of your kids, or when you need to cook dinner, or when you need to do something? Just say like there's certain things that the way you put it could honestly help and make your au pair's life easy. Because if your au pair's life's easy, even the worst day as an au pair will still be a good day. You know what I'm saying? In a way where even if she has the worst day, she still wouldn't consider rematching, because she knows the good days outweigh the bad days. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. My next point, number 4, is have mutual respect. So coming from understanding, have mutual respect for your au pair. Because if you have mutual respect for your au pair is going to have mutual respect for you. It all boils down to that thing of, like, if you set the tone for the relationship, the au pair is going to pick up the tone that you give. If you're going to be rude, the au pair is going to be rude back to you. If you're going to be rude, you will have an au pair, maybe she won't be rude back to you in your face. She will be miserable at her job. She won't give her full potential with what she does. And to my understanding, based on what like the good host families have said, we au pairs are looking after the most prized possession. Like, your kids are the most important thing. So you don't want somebody who is super unhappy, miserable, working and looking after your kids. Do you? You don't. So my whole thing with this is that just have mutual respect for your au pair. Like, consider the fact that they take care of your kids. And yes, the au pair may be younger than you. You may be smarter than your au pair. You may have more money than your au pair. She may be coming from a country that doesn't have money for it may seem in your eyes that you have all these things, but at the end of the day, you're the one that actually needs the au pair. No matter how bad the situation with your au pair comes, your au pair can be coming from like $0 back home, like no money. But at the end of the day, she can leave your home and find a new host family that will treat her amazing. Whereas you, on the other hand, you're going to have to go into a rematch, you're going to have to look for a au pair and that whole thing. And so my whole thing is, just treat your au pair with respect, because there'll come a time where you will need it back. For example, if you work, let's say 45 hours and you come home early, like let's say the au pair is meant to work 9 to 6, you come home 2 o'clock, give that au pair a break. Say, hey, I know you're meant to work until 6, but it's fine. You can take the day off. You can take the rest of the day off. Because guess what? Next time you over your 45 hours, you need just 2 hours to run to Togo. You just need an hour for a client or work or whatever. And you say, hey, I'm so sorry, I'm running late. Or hey, this is the situation. Or even if you don't say it to the au pair, you and your husband are speaking, guess what's gonna happen? That au pair is gonna remember that, oh, she's always giving me gaps, and whenever I feel like, even though my hours are less or I haven't finished my hours for the week, she gives me space, she gives me gaps, she allows me to remove if I want to go out with my friends. She says, no, finish early, whatever. So she will do the same for you. She will be like, you know what, I can go out an hour later. I got you guys. You guys can stay for 2 hours. It's fine. Even though she's over hours. Why? Because you respect her and you value her time. You acknowledge that, hey, we got this. You also human. You need a break. Because your au pair is not sitting at home just playing kumbaya with the kids. It's actually tiring and draining to look after kids. And so you need to consider that it's not, for you it may look like, oh, you going up every day and you're getting to work and you have to drive and do all these things. The au pair is just chilling at home and playing. It's tiring. Like, no matter how good your kid is, at the end of the day, it's tiring. On top of, once again, you far from home. You have to make friends. You have to adjust to the whole new system, the whole new language. If this is not your if English is not your first language, you have to adjust to that too. My last point is always invite your au pair, but don't be surprised if they say no. Don't be surprised. Don't be heartbroken. It got nothing to do with you as a host family, unless you treat them horrible. Then I can't justify that. But don't be surprised if your au pair says no. Why? If you always, when I say always, because you don't want your au pair to also feel left out. If you guys are going out for dinner, if you're making reservations, if you whatever, like say, hey, do you want to come? Leave room for her to be like, yes, I'd love to come, or no, I actually don't want to come. Or even if you guys are playing a game downstairs and the kids are like, hey, do you want to play a game? And she's like, I really am tired. You encourage and be like, no, just because she's tired, let her go sleep. Or say, hey, do you want to play with us? And if she says to you no, then it's no, or yes, then it's yes. Reason being is that au pairs live and work at the same place. So for us, there's no mental shift. There's no jump in the car, go, now you in home mode and change. You know, we don't have that. And if you still work at home because of COVID, you understand that working at home and having and living at the same place can be tiring at times, because you do want to have that mental switch. You do want to have that I'm in work mode and now I'm in chill mode. But for au pairs, most of us don't really have that, because even sometimes, depending on your family, even when you hang with them, it still feels like you're working, because the kids want stuff even though it's not on your clock time, or they want to do stuff. And so sometimes we just genuinely want to hang out with people who are our age, or people where there's no kids. And it's nothing to do with you or your kids. It's just, we need a break. It's like, imagine punching numbers the whole day, like 24/7. You live in a house, you live in a place where you just hear the buttons the whole day. Sometimes you're gonna want to go to a place that's just quiet. You want to go to a mountain or an ocean. You want to be away from like just numbers and hearing the computer the whole time. Same thing with au pairs. Sometimes we just want silence. We just want to be away from kids. We just want to be, literally, we don't want to hear work. We don't want to hear kids. We just want to be with us. And that is nothing to do with you guys. It's everything to do with living and working at the same place. And that's the only way we stay sane, is if we find places that are our safe places to go to and just be comfortable. And so, having said all this, like my last point is, do not be stingy with food. I know a lot of host families are gonna probably laugh at this, but I promise you, there are host families that are starving their au pairs. Like, there's no food in the fridge. If you know that you're a bad grocery shopper, do a chalkboard, or if you have Alexa, have an Alexa where your au pair can put food on the Alexa or on the chalkboard. Because au pairs are using their money, which is not even a lot, to end up buying food for themselves. Or if you generally know that like you're gonna forget, or you just feel like your au pair, you don't know what she likes, give her like a food allowance. Aside from what she's getting as an au pair, say, hey, I'll give you $50 every week to buy whatever you need for food in the house. Because I know we're terrible, we don't buy food or whatever. Because you are allowed to feed an au pair, But honestly, this is a real problem. This is one of the reasons why au pairs go for rematches, because they just, host families just generally don't care about feeding them. It's like, on top of the kids throwing a tantrum, having a bad day, now you must worry about food. Like, imagine, I would hate it if I'm constantly, like, my kids are throwing a tantrum, this is happening, and now I must be like, oh, I still need to go to the store, which means I have to wait until one of my host families come home, one of my host parents to come home, and then I can go to the store, then buy food. It's just annoying. So feed your au pairs, and I will have more videos up there. If you guys have any recommendations of what other videos you want me to do as a host family, put them in the comment section, and I would love to answer it from an au pair's point of view. Also, I'm in the next 2 or 3 weeks, I am gonna have me and my host mom on my channel, and so au pairs and host families get to question and ask questions. I have questions from people on Instagram, but I will have more. If you have more questions, put them in the comment section, and I would love to help families be a successful match. Thank you so much for watching my video. Do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, turn on that notification bell because you don't want to miss my next videos, and do not forget to subscribe. Bye.